folks. I'm Laura Diorio with NYSE Texas here at Stubbs in Austin, Texas. Boots on the ground with Dr. Kelly Damphousse of Texas State University. Kelly, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for inviting me here, and congratulations on the great boots.
Thank you so much. So. You know, Alan's just treating me well while I'm here. I felt like I need to keep it local.
Oh yeah, got some real stuff. Yeah,
I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Well, you've been with Texas State now for a few years.
Yeah.
How has it been? What is business feeling like for these young entrepreneurs in Texas?
You know, it's really interesting. We started off as a teachers' college. So 126 years ago, we were founded to teach teachers to teach the people who were moving to what was then Southwest Texas, which is now Central Texas. But over the years, as businesses started to change and industry started to change here in Central Texas, we started to evolve in having a business school, an engineering program, and so on. And now we are like an economic driving engine for this part of the state. By the way, Texas is the number 8 economy in the world. If we were our own country, it's a huge economy. And so we feel like it's our job to make sure our students are trained and prepared to enter the workforce in whatever industry is out there for them.
Texas being such a booming economy, you know, the New York Stock Exchange is no stranger to that, with Texas actually being the state with the most listed companies on the New York Stock Exchange. So it only made sense for us to launch NYSE Texas here. We're the first fully incorporated exchange in Texas. And it's a testament to, of course, a lot of the innovation you're seeing at Texas State. So what is that looking like?
Well, one of the things that's unusual, I think, about higher education now is it used to be that faculty just said, you know, this is what I think the curriculum should look like. What we're doing at Texas State is actually working with industry and working with businesses, working with banks, working with finance people, saying, what do you want your students to look like when they come out? I think sometimes we look at our students as being our customers, but really business and industry is our customers. We're creating a product for them. I don't only think of our students as products, but they're looking to hire people who are ready to hit the road running when they get there. And that means having an opportunity to do internships, but also learning from people who are actually doing the work as opposed to just learn about it in a book. And so our students are getting really practical experience. Hopefully they're learning about jobs they didn't even know existed. Many of our students, about half our students are Pell eligible, so they come from pretty poor backgrounds. About half our students are first generation college students, so they don't even know about the world that exists out here for them. So we're trying to marry the needs that our students have with the needs that industry and business have to come together so we can help both parties succeed. And for us, the success starts when our students get a job, when our students don't move home with their parents, and when our businesses say we love hiring Bobcats because they have a lot of grit, but they also are prepared for life that's coming at them. And life is coming at them so fast now. It's such a complicated world now, and so we have to be very agile in the kind of curriculum we're putting together for them.
It's almost like Texas State is kind of going back to its roots of, you know, that teachers are teaching others how to teach. These students are teaching the workforce in a way. Hey, this is what, you know, these solid entrepreneurs, these founders need. This is what these companies need out of their young people that inevitably go on to lead these massive organizations.
You know, so many CEOs are now worried about how fast the world is changing, especially with AI, right? And so we're training our students to understand AI at a level that makes sense to them. And a lot of our employers are hiring these young people because they've got some AI expertise. And so we work with a company called Coursera, which provides extra training for them. So they might be getting a business degree, but also have some data analytics and some AI background in them. So when they go to a business, they can say, like you say, they'll become a teacher and say, hey boss, I know this is how I used to do things, but here's another way of using AI, which almost sounds like it's cheating, but if you're not doing it, what's that? If you're not cheating, you're not trying. If you're not using AI anymore, you're really behind the curve. So our students are kind of bringing AI into the workforce with them, and our CEOs and our HR people are saying, that's an added dimension we didn't think we would have before. And so it's exciting to see our students really feel empowered when they go to these places, saying, I really do have something to offer.
AI being one of those things folks are saying, especially in New York.
It's a fad. It's a fad. It's
just a trend. It'll pass.
It'll pass.
But
just like the internet. Right?
And that's what they've been saying. Dial up.
Yeah.
But that, and I know what that is.
You'll bring back a lot of memories. Yeah.
I know what it sounds like.
Yeah.
And that AI is really fueling Wall Street. But of course, you know, NYSE Texas being down here for Y'all Street, what other innovations, right, are you seeing, not just AI, but in tech, in these big industries? Of course, you know, Texas across the board is covering these groups. So What do you think your students are looking for in those industries?
Well, what's really interesting is our students used to want to do well, which meant they want to make a lot of money. Now they also want to do good. There's a difference between doing well and doing good.
That's refreshing.
And yeah, they want to make a difference. They want to go to a company that is thinking about the environment, for example. So one of our innovative research areas is about water, about how the role of water in the world right now. If you're in Texas, you know water is like, it's the new oil. And so the politics behind water, the science behind water, the effect that drought has on people and so on. So we want our students to have an awareness of those kinds of issues, so when they go into the workforce, they can also bring that kind of sensitivity with them as well, so that maybe a business that's doing something over here, they might, because our students influence them or inspire them, might say, hey, let's think about how we can do this, but also help with water or the environment and things like that. So I think one of the innovations is trying to figure out ways to do things like sustainability, how we interact with the climate through drought conditions and so on. Like we've had like 2 inches of rain in Austin the past 2 years in the fall. This is kind of our rainy season.
Yeah.
But how does a company deal with that? And how do we deal with the growth that's happening in Austin? Like people are moving here like crazy. Williamson County is one county north of here, and 4,000 people a month are moving to Williamson County. And we've got a campus there, a Round Rock campus there. But that has an impact on the environment, has an impact on the infrastructure, on the roadways and so on. Like how do we manage all that? Our students are now being empowered to think more broadly than just the science of the discipline they're talking about, but also about how do we make the world better, in addition to how do we make more money.
I think if, a state of this size with an economic impact as it has, you want these leaders to be thinking about not just what folks think of when they think of Texas, good barbecue, oil and gas,
cowboy
and
boots,
a lot of
cowboy
great,
hats.
and a couple of good boots, but really, almost bending the status quo a bit and surprising folks, to maybe expect the unexpected. How do you feel like down the line, Texas State is really looking to keep bending those expectations?
Well, I think we always have to be looking ahead.
Yeah.
And so if you're looking in the rearview mirror, you're going to make a lot of mistakes. And so what we're trying to do is try to anticipate where industry is going, where business is going. I mentioned AI earlier, but there's other things that are going. New industries, for example, so the film industry moving into Texas. We've had film industry here, but we haven't really had the support from the state to be able to do that. This past year, the legislature passed a huge line item that allowed the legislature to invest in the film industry, which means we've got to be preparing our students to go work in that industry. And by the way, it's not just actors and actresses and not just directors, but it's the film crew, it's the craft people that are making the food, it's the people that are doing all the licensing and so on. There's a lot of stuff going in that industry. And if the film industry in Texas is going to boom, which we believe it will, we've got to be preparing students for that industry. So we're always looking at what's the new industry that's coming. Semiconductors, for example, we know that's coming. We've got to be preparing students for that line of work as well. And it's not just engineers, there's other people who work in those industries as well. So we got to talk to those employers, ask them what are you looking for, and then design curriculum and recruit students into those fields. Just for example, I mentioned how many people are moving in this area.
Yeah.
The construction in this city, and you watch.
I noticed.
There's
I was scooting
cranes
around.
everywhere here, and there's barricades everywhere. We're building like crazy here. So we started a construction science management program to train people to build buildings.
Wow, really?
And our alumni are building like huge buildings here in Austin, and they're not like building it like they're not the people, putting the wrench on a bolt.
Sure.
They're like designing and they're like directing what's going on there. We got a new concrete industry management program, so train people how to work in the concrete industry, which is a huge issue. When you're building buildings, got a lot of concrete going. It's the number one man-made thing in the world is concrete, and there's 5 concrete industry management programs in the country, and Texas State has one of them.
Wow.
Again, preparing people for that new world. It's one thing to think about all the businesses that are out there, but it's all the other stuff that supports all the business, the infrastructure that we have to feed as well.
Right.
Yeah.
You have a very innate passion clearly
Oh,
for this
very passionate about
school,
this, yeah.
right? This group of clearly like pioneers in their space, it seems.
Absolutely.
So what's one thing about Texas State that maybe people might be a little surprised you are deeply, infatuated with in some way? I mean, concrete, film, the
run the
water.
gamut.
You are across the board. You're saying, you head into the football team soon. So, I mean, what's one thing that might surprise folks about your
Well,
love of it?
I think what people don't understand is how a 4-year college degree can change someone's life.
Yeah.
So many of our students, about half our students are first generation, about half of them are Pell eligible, so they come from poor backgrounds, and if they went to some place that didn't care about the outcomes that they have, that they might struggle and they might drop out at a high rate. What I love about Texas State, we've got a number of faculty and staff members who can work anywhere in the world, but they believe in our mission, and our mission is to change the lives of young people that we come into contact with. And our student success metrics are going through the roof now. Number of people that stick around for their sophomore year, the graduation rates, retention rates, job placement rates, the number of people who are graduating without debt. So about half our students don't have any student loan debt at all. The average student that has debt is about $20,000 in student loan debt. That's a student loan burden that you can pay off before you're 40 years old. We're not the kind of place where you're going to leave with $200,000, $300,000 in debt that you're paying off when you're 60 years old. And so I think we're taking a bunch of students that are strivers, that might struggle somewhere else, are coming here, opening up a world to them through internship opportunities, research opportunities, study abroad opportunities is a big initiative for us. A lot of our students, when they go on a study abroad trip for us, about half our students, it's the first time they've gotten a passport, is because we made them do that for a study abroad. About a quarter of those students have never been out of Texas before, never been on an airplane. The first airplane ride they ever took was to Madrid. And so we're opening the world up to those people. We're taking Texas State to the world, but also bringing the world to Texas State. So we have now over 2,000 international students at Texas State. We had about 500 before when I got here. So you're sitting in a classroom and you're from Onion Junction, Texas, and you've never been outside of Texas, and a kid right next to you is from Nepal, another person over there is from Korea, and you're like, oh, there's a whole world out there, and these are normal people, and maybe at spring break I should bring you to my home, and then maybe in the summertime I should go to your home. And it just makes a really rich experience even richer. We're changing people's lives, but not just in an ordinary sense we're giving them a degree, but opening the world up to something that they might know exists. They don't know what they don't know, and we're kind of opening it up to them.
Changing people's lives, and as many are saying here, really redefining what the future of undergrad and higher education look like. And so I congratulate you, I commend you, and it's been a joy chatting with you, Kelly.
Well, I loved it, Laura. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you.
Enjoyed it.